Hello, and welcome to this tutorial on finding information with metadata. By the end of this tutorial, you'll be able to define metadata, recognize common metadata fields in an enterprise content management system, or an ECM system, and explain how metadata helps people find information. Although I will be using examples from the land records environment where I currently work, the same principles apply in libraries, archives, museums, and virtually any information system. One of the central ideas in information organization is that information only has value if people can locate it when they need it. Libraries have addressed this challenge for generations through catalogs, subject headings, and classification systems. ECM systems use metadata for the same purpose. As we move through this tutorial, think about how you search for information. Whether you're looking for a lease agreement in an ECM, a journal article in a library database, or a book in an online catalog, metadata is what makes that search possible. Why metadata matters. So let's start with a common problem. Imagine you're looking for a specific document and your search results contain files named Final PDF, Final V2 PDF, Final V3 Revised PDF. Looking at those file names alone, there's no easy way to determine which document contains a Louisiana lease. This illustrates why metadata matters. File names are often inconsistent and may not provide enough information for retrieval. Metadata provides additional descriptive information that allows users to locate documents based on meaningful characteristics instead of guessing from a file name. In information science, successful retrieval depends on describing information in a way that matches how users search for it. Most people do not remember the exact file names, but they often remember topics, locations, dates, or document types. Metadata bridges the gap between information stored in a system and the way users think about and search for information. What is metadata? So, what exactly is metadata? Metadata is often defined as data about data. In libraries, metadata has been used for centuries through catalog records that describe books and other materials. Common examples include title, author, subject, publication date, call number. These elements describe the resource and help users find it. ECM systems use the same concept. Rather than describing books, metadata describes business documents. The specific fields may differ, but the goal is the same: to make information easier to organize, search, retrieve, and manage. Whether someone is searching a library catalog or an ECM repository, metadata provides the structure that allows the system to connect users with the information they need. Common metadata fields. Let's look at an example of metadata in an ECM system. In this example, we have a document called Louisiana Mineral Lease. Several metadata fields have been assigned: the document type, the lease agreement, the business unit, which is Gulf Coast Operations, the effective date, January 5th, 15th, 2026, the subject of mineral lease, and the state of Louisiana. Notice that each field answers a different question about the document. What is it? Who owns it? When did it become effective? What's it about? Where does it apply? This is very similar to library metadata. A title, author, subject heading, and publication date each provide a different access point for finding information. The more useful descriptive information we capture, the more ways users have to locate a document later. Adding metadata. Metadata does not appear automatically in most cases. Someone must capture it when the document is added to the system. There are applications that can be trained to identify and capture metadata. However, I can tell you from personal experience that it's still necessary to have a person visually confirm this information for best results. In this example, we entered values for the document type, the business unit, the date, subject, and state. The important point is consistency. It's important that everyone describes documents using the same standards and naming conventions whenever possible. For example, if one person enters LA and another types out Louisiana, you could end up with incomplete search results. In my experience, using a drop-down selection for metadata works much better than relying on free text. Free text tends to introduce inconsistencies, while controlled options help keep everything clean and easy to search. I had firsthand experience with this a few years ago during a data cleanup project. We were trying to standardize the depth data for the Mississippian Formation. And it turned out there were over 100 different variations and spellings of Mississippian Formation in the system. It made reporting and searching incredibly difficult until everything was standardized. That experience really reinforced how quickly things can get messy without consistent metadata. Library catalogs face the same challenge, which is why they use standardized subject headings and cataloging rules. Consistent metadata creates reliable search results and improves the overall quality of information systems. Good versus poor metadata. Not all metadata is equally helpful. Good metadata has three important characteristics. First, it's accurate. The metadata should correctly describe the document. Second, it is consistent. Similar documents should be described in the same way across the system. Third, it is specific. Metadata should provide enough detail to distinguish one document from another. Poor metadata can make information difficult to find, even when it exists in the system. A document may be stored correctly, but if the metadata is incomplete, inconsistent, or inaccurate, users may never locate it. This is why metadata quality is often considered just as important as the document itself. Finding information faster. Now, let's see the benefit of good metadata. Suppose a user needs a Louisiana lease agreement. Rather than searching through hundreds or thousands of file names, they can apply search filters such as document type equals lease agreement, state equals Louisiana. The system immediately narrows the results and returns the correct document. Search results can be further refined by identifying more specific metadata points. This demonstrates one of the primary purposes of metadata, improving precision and efficiency during information retrieval. The same principle applies in libraries. Users can filter search results by author, subject, publication date, or format to quickly find relevant materials. Good metadata reduces search time, improves accuracy, and helps users make better use of the information stored within a system. Key takeaways. To conclude, metadata is the descriptive information that helps us organize, manage, and retrieve documents. Today, we learned that metadata describes information. Consistency improves search results, and high-quality metadata helps users find information quickly and accurately. Although our examples focused on land documents within an ECM, the same concepts apply throughout libraries, archives, museums, and other information environments. Whether the item is a lease agreement, a photograph, a manuscript, or a book, metadata provides the structure that makes information discoverable. As discussed throughout information organization and retrieval coursework, effective metadata is one of the foundations of successful information access. Thank you for watching.